Man as Quabbalist. In my first volume, Initiation into Hermetics, I divide man into 3 regions, into body, soul and spirit, and there I also mention the quadrupolar magnet. It is clear to the meditating scholar that the mental body is connected to the astral body by the mental matrix, and that the astral matrix is keeping the mental and astral bodies together with the material body. It is certainly also clear to him that the physical body is kept alive by food, condensed elemental matter, the astral body by breathing. The perceptive faculty of the senses is tied to the material and the astral body by the mental matrix. The future Quabbalist must know all this well and must, in this connection, be able to gain a clear picture of the process in his own body if he honestly wants to go in for Quabbalah. Apart from this fundamental knowledge, the Quabbalist must find a deeper relationship to his own self, and these deeper relations are the actual fundamentals for studying Quabbalah. The functioning and working between body, soul and spirit comes to pass automatically with every human being, no matter whether he has been initiated into the secrets of Hermetic science or not. For the Quabbalist this is the multiplication table. He knows all the processes and is therefore able to arrange his life in accordance with the universal laws. This knowledge distinguishes the initiate from the non-initiate, for the initiate, having been taught the laws, knows how to make practical use of them and is able to balance out any disharmony between body, soul and spirit. Apart from this, the initiate, by his conscious attitude towards the universal laws, is capable of leading a sensible life in accordance with these universal laws and to proceed along the path to perfection. Already when looking at it from this angle, one realizes that initiation is something quite special, offering a particular view of life. For the initiate looks at the world with quite different eyes than all other people. The various buffets of faith that an initiate might be exposed to can never hit him so hard, and he will never suffer so much. One can see that easily when considering what has been said above. From the Quabbalistic point of view, man is a perfect embodiment of the universe, since he has been made the image of God. Man is the highest being on our earth, and everything that takes place in the universe on a large scale also takes place in man on a small scale. Seen from the Hermetic angle, man represents the miniature world, that is, the microcosm, in contradiction to the universe, the macrocosm. A genuine Quabbalist who really wants to work practically within the scope of the universal laws, that is, who wants to take an active part in the great work, must, at any rate, have undergone a magic development and must safeguard the genuine ideas in accordance with the universal laws. He who is content with mere theory will absorb Quabbalistic knowledge and, apart from this, enrich the intellectual features of his spirit, but the other 3 fundamental principles of the spirit will lag behind. A theorist will never be able to grasp the essence of knowledge, to say nothing of his inability to bring about anything. He may become a Quabbalistic philosopher if he is intellectually talented, but never a genuine, magically trained Quabbalist whose spoken word becomes reality. A theorist may become a scientist, but never a sage. The difference between a learned man and sage is very great. The magician, on account of this magic development, realizes his intention by the power of his will, but due to his ties to God he cannot make the same use of the magic word as can the Quabbalist. A magician who is not engaged in practical Quabbalah may use the powers which he has developed within himself and, apart from this, is able to call various beings to help him with his work, but a Quabbalist achieves everything by his Quabbalistic word, without the help of any beings, genii, and so on. Therefore, from the Hermetic point of view, a genuine Quabbalist is the highest initiate, for he acts for God in the miniature world, the microcosm, and, applying the laws of analogy, he may become active also in the macrocosm. This is the difference between the magician and the Quabbalist, and therefore anyone striving for perfection will want to occupy himself, in practice, with Quabbalah. A Quabbalist taking part in the great work is then usually selected by divine providence to carry out certain commissions. The genuine Quabbalist thus is a representative of the creation, but he remains the most obedient servant of the universal laws. The more he becomes an initiate, the humbler he is toward divine providence. He is, indeed, in possession of the greatest power, yet he will never use his power for his own purposes, but only for the welfare of mankind. The genuine Quabbalist is the highest initiate for whom nothing is impossible, and any word he pronounces will be translated into reality without exception. Finally, I should like to point out once again the difference between a perfect initiate and a saint. The genuine magician will not need this explanation, for he will be able to understand everything from what has been said here. Those readers, however, who go through my books only theoretically, may be told that a perfect human being adheres to all universal laws, duly takes them into consideration in the macrocosm as well as in the material, astral and mental plane and lives by them, whereas the saint is only interested in a particular religious system, translating the same into reality by following its dogmas and regulations, but is not keeping equal pace everywhere, that is, in every sphere. The person only striving after saintliness usually neglects the body and the material world, regarding both as Maya, a delusion, and realizes, after relevant training, within himself only very few aspects of the universal laws. Such people do attain a climax in the aspects they have put before themselves as their goal, be it the divine aspect of charity, mercy, kindness, etc., which they realize within themselves. These people then see the universal laws only from the angle of their mental training, but are not able to comprehend the complete image of the universal legality, nor can they interpret them. From the point of view of Hermetics, such a way is not regarded as a perfect one and is termed the path of saintliness. A true initiate, a Quabbalist, on the other hand, will seek to acknowledge all divine aspects equally and to realize them gradually. This way, of course, is longer and more arduous, and, usually, one incarnation is not enough to complete it. The most important thing for him is his being aware that he is proceeding along the right track. On the way to perfection there should not be any haste. Everything takes time and needs the necessary maturity for its perfection. From the Hermetic point of view there are actually only two ways, the way to saintliness and the way to perfection. The way to saintliness has as many systems as there are religions on this earth. He who chooses the way to saintliness has decided to realize within himself only one or a few divine aspects and is usually regarded as symbolizing the relevant divine idea. With only a few exceptions, his saintliness then even becomes a hindrance on his way, considering the world or the less mature human beings, for because of the devotion of his disciples, worshippers, followers, etc., he is often impeded in his mission, task and rise. I do not want to deal here with such human beings who consciously decorate themselves with an aureola, in order to be respected, adored, worshipped, etc. and unfortunately, there exist a great number of such people in this world. A true saint retires to solitude, whereas a hypocrite will show off with his halo. But he who follows the course to perfection will never seek solitude, he will abide by the place which divine providence has allocated to him and will continue working at his personal development without attracting the attention of his environment. He will not do the least to show his state of maturity to the external world. On the contrary, he may even try to disguise it to be unmolested by curious and immature people. This goes to show that there is also a great difference in the attitude and behavior of a saint and a perfect human being. The saint will lose his individuality as soon as he has reached his goal, but this is not the case with the perfect human being. Not the individuality as a person is at stake, but the individuality as God incarnate.